Ago, Cheme, Kenyame, Nime, Kename, in the entire world. I bring you warm greetings from all deities and ancestors of our land. I respond to the name His Eminence Numo Chawe Otrome II, Chawe Wulong, High Priest of the Chawe divinity in the Kun traditional area in the Greater Accra region of Ghana, West Africa to be precise. When you see me on your way, I have good news for you. Today is our first lesson that is going to take us through the origins and the nature and or characteristics of our divinities we have in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. This is to make things clearer to people that are actually doubting about the origins and nature of our deities.
The people of Greater Accra can actually be divided into two major categories. We have the Ga aspect and the Dangme aspect. The differences between the Ga and the Dangme are actually very small. It only lies in some of our tradition and our language. These are where those differences do comes in. Putting those aside, we all move together as one people that shares the same cultural traits. And we are each other's keepers because we do all things together. In the first place, let's look at the origins of our deities. When you watch the cosmological structure of the Greater Accra region, we realize our people knew the existence of God before the white got onto the coast to begin their colonization. This is because in most of our instances as traditional people within the Greater Accra region of Ghana, we venerate our divinities or our deities, and we know and we've accepted and we believe that through them we are able to get into contact with God the Almighty, who is a genderless deity too as well. We, those in the Greater Accra region, especially the Ghana, actually do refer to God the Creator as Ata Na Nyongmo. Ata Na Nyongmo. Ata representing the masculine side, Na representing the feminine side, and Nyongmo, which can be broken down into Nyong, midnight, and Mo, person, which simply means that the male stroke female midnight person. That is because most of the cultural performances that we do give out during our period or our seasons of worshiping are normally done in the realms of midnight or in the times of midnight. That is to help the deities or to help us pass our request onto our deities for them to hand it over to God Almighty, who is also known as the midnight person. The Greater Accra region of Ghana has its own traditional worship system that is quite assimilating. What do I mean by assimilating? When you get into the Greater Accra region and you take a critical look and the study of our traditional set of worship or our cult of worship, you realize that there are deities that when they descend, they speak the ancient Obutu, Chiripong, and Ga language blended together. You will also see deities that also speak the same bit of Chiripong, Obutu, and Dangme blend together. You will also find deities that speak the Ewe language of the people of Benin and Togo and some parts of Nigeria too as well. That is also blended together within our traditional worship. You might also see some deities that also speak languages that are quite similar to Akan in our traditional worship. You will also find deities that also do speak in Zima in our traditional worship, and it moves in that order. We have deities that also do speak the Baoulé language of the people of Côte d'Ivoire, also here in our traditional worship. That is because our worship is an assimilative system of worship. This is how the whole thing actually came about. When you take the worship section of the Greater Accra people of Ghana, we have the Pele, which is actually the traditional set of worship that belongs to the typical native Ga people. Then we have the Klama, which the Ga people again do refer to as Me, M-E-Y, as Me, which is given to the Dangme sect of the people in the same region. This is how it goes. In the Klama section, you end up seeing deities that belong to the cult of the Ga people in the Klama section that belongs to the Dangmes as well. Klama belongs to the Dangme. Klama or Me belongs to the Dangme, right? And then when you move into the Pili, you also realize you are going to find deities that belongs to the Dangme people right there in the Pili cult too as well, right? From there, we have Otu. Otu actually is a form of deity that was bought from the central region of Ghana and has been assimilated into our Ghana traditional worship. So when deities of the Otu origins descend, all you are going to hear is much of broken Fanti or old tongues that speak Fanti. Following, we have Akom. Akom actually hails within the Ashanti to the Akrapim range. And the deities brought from there for particular reasons in the family, be it fishing, protection, fertility, bumper harvest, whatsoever you can think of. Most of these deities were actually being brought for those particular factions or those particular functions. The same applies to the Otu that we have spoken about too as well. Then we have the Akom. So when they also do descend, their languages do look much of tree with a blend of some bit of Ethiopian tree and then a bit of the Tripong too as well, much similar to that of the Otu. And one thing you are supposed to know is that the deities that are of the Otu origins are deities that are like a double-edged sword. They are both deities that can go fishing and can go hunting as well. One thing you are supposed to understand is that within the Greater Accra region of Ghana, the indigenous people are actually farmers or fisher folks. So it's either there is a deity that is going to help them for bountiful harvest in the farming aspect or in the fishing aspect. And that is why we have most of these deities that were actually bought or brought into the system and then assimilated into the cultural system. We also have the deities that are our actual deities. We refer to them as Jemawaji. Jemawaji. Jemawaji are actually the deities that, per our cosmological story, the creator of the universe brought directly onto the earth for them to assist him to be able to create his entire universe. Unlike what the Christian account may say, that God created the universe and there were angels that wanted to rebel and they were pushed down onto the earth, and some inhabited stones and waters and what have you. Remember, we as Ga and Dangme people are animists. We worship things of nature. We believe the trees, the stones, the water bodies, the lakes, the rivers, the ponds, the moon, the sun, the stars, the earth contains energies that do not die. And whenever we do venerate them, whatever we are seeking, we do get. We also have Kanja. We have Kanja, which has similar traits to that of Tigari from the northern region. My fact finding actually made me understand that Kanja hails from Izima. Kanja hails from Izima within Ghana too as well. Then we have Tigari. Tigari actually comes from the northern region of Ghana. And the main duty of Tigari is to catch or arrest people that are witches or wizards, or people that actually do use their powers for negativity. So once they start the veneration of Tigari, anyone that is actually not having that kind of good intention for his community people actually will be brought out, and the whole township is going to identify them. That is the duty of Tigari. And also within the cult of Tigari, we have a deity we call Talisman. This particular deity hails from Fernando Po, and the language that Talisman speaks is only English. During his veneration, he takes a lot of foreign stuff, things that are not native to the local people of the Greater Accra region of Ghana, are the things that Talisman prefers. From his dances, his songs, his language, and the food he takes are all of English origins. When the deities of the Tigari descend, or the Tigari cult descend, they speak more of Hausa. They speak more of the Hausa languages. Right. Now we have Abbi. Abbi actually is a form of another cult that has been assimilated into the Ga or the Dangme system of worship, which actually hails from the Volta region of Ghana. So when you listen to their dances and you listen to their rhythms during veneration, it looks very much similar to that of the Volta region, or the Bobobo dance, or the Agbaja dance, especially of the Volta region of Ghana. Then from there we have Brekete. Brekete is another form of worship that was also assimilated from the Volta region, and we have it here in the Greater Accra region as well, because we have deities that do hail from the Volta region, and they may prefer the languages and dances of their origins. We have Pakpakli. Pakpakli is another form of deity assimilated from the Volta region into the traditional worship as well, of which it is not too common for you to find, because most of such deities actually do move with strict rules that when you go contrary to, you may not get what you're looking for, and you may find yourself to be wanting. Now, from there we have Koku. Koku is another Volta region divinity or deity that has been assimilated into the Ga cultural system. It is very rare for you to find. It's very rare for you to find, similar to that of Pakpakli and Brekete. Then we have Mala. Mala, which actually means Mla, which is in the Ghana language, and which can literally be translated into English as law or rule. It's one of the deities that originates from the Bobo River off the people of Côte d'Ivoire and has found his way all the way down here into Ghana in the Greater Accra region. And they are one of the people that really do have one of the strictest system of worship in their dealings within the traditional aspect. And for that reason, that kind of respect is given to them, because they do move through a lot. From there we have Anago Voodoo. Anago simply means Nigeria. It's one of the rarest system of worship I have ever met, or one of the rarest deities I have ever met. I met it just once on my pilgrim to Nugo or Ningo for the veneration of the Nadu divinity or the Nadu deity. That was where I came upon a guy that was actually possessed by that deity, and then I knew there is a deity of that sort in our region here in Ghana. From there we have Zangbeto. Zangbeto actually hails from Benin, and we have it here because most people do go there to buy those divinities and then they bring it down here for their own purposes. One thing you are supposed to understand is the natural deities that we refer to as Jemawoji are actually not sold. They only move when they want to move, and they get to new locations when they want to get to new locations, with or without your permission. When you want them, you head over to the original source, and there are systems that are supposed to be put in place for the deity to metamorphose or transfer itself, again not leaving his original source to your source. And they are there. But for the other deities that are being bought or sold, that we refer to as Owaji, they are the ones that you can find them for sale from Togo, Benin, Mali, Niger, so forth and so on. You can just continue mentioning them. Those are the areas that you can get the Owaji from. So in our system of worship, we have Jemawoji. Those are the natural deities. And then we have the Owaji that can be formed through incantations, and casting of spells, and then chanting to create something into existence. Now, from there, the languages of our deities, like I spoke earlier, are actually in Ga or in Dangme. And the Ga language of the traditional sect can be referred to as Pele. Then the Dangme language of the traditional sect of the people of Dangme can be referred to as Kalama. Or the Ga people do refer to that as Me. Now, when our deities do descend, their greetings, this is what they have for us from the Dangme side or the Kalama side. You hear something like this: Agbabi, Agbabi, Nyehe Manye, Nyesu Manye, Nyemie Manye, Nyenwo, Nyenwo. Then the Agbabi are going to respond. Wanwo Nye Odim, Owemsa. Then the deity or the possession or the possessed entity or the possessed person is going to respond Pono. Then the Pono or the Agbabi are going to respond Owembi. Then they are going to the deity or the possessed person is going to respond again Jobube. Then it continues. The deity is going to bless them now. Ihanye Chumi, ihanya de, ihanye kolokoto, ihanye penya, nebia kuya, nebia kubanawo, ka abi wasi, na deke wange, fia, manye neba, or tra, manye neba. Now, this is what that literally means. Abbi actually refers to the traditional set of the group that are the drummers, and then that also encompass the priests and then the priestesses of any particular traditional area. So all the people present, we have the male Abbi and then we have the female Abbi. They all form part of the Abbi system or the Agban system. When we talk of the Agban system, it simply highlights the traditionalists that are actually more into the section of deities, possessions, or divinities. So it can literally be translated to this: Abbi, Nyehemanye receive blessings, Nyemanye embody blessings, Nyemo receive lack. Then Wangwang Odin, our lack is in your hands. You, the deity that has possessed the individual at the moment, our lack is in your hands. Owen sir, how is your abode or how is your home? Then honor, which means no problem, that is being said by the deity to the people or the Abbi present. Then they will say, OMB, how are the people in your home? Then the answer is going to be Jobube, that means they are all well or there is no trouble. Then Ihanye to me, I give you thanks. Ihanye there, I give you prosperity. Ihanye penya. Ihanye penya, I give you protection. Ihanye kolokoto, I give you success. Kuya, may seasons go, kuba now, that seasons may come to meet us. Ke abi wasi. So when people ask of us, nadeke wange, that we may say we are alive. Tra, mani neba, strike, may goodness come. So these are actually the greetings that do come from the deities onto the people present. Despite the fact that the Abbi set of people are there for the veneration to be done, this greeting actually goes way beyond the Abbi, and it seems as a message towards the entire township as well.
When the deities descend, you also hear them saying something like this: Nye womling, nye damwamling, amamambi, which simply means how did your sleep go? How is everyone on your land or within your quota? And how is everyone at large?
It came out that during our puberty rite, some songs that are actually sung are not that of Ga or Dangme origins. The truth of the whole issue is, yes, our people actually do express most of their culture in our traditional languages and in other languages too as well. So you might hear them singing our traditional Dangme songs during the puberty rite, or you might hear them singing typical Ga songs during the puberty rite session too as well. Or you might hear them singing some songs that are actually might not be related to our language. In the Ga sect, for instance, you will hear a song like Mayobi ye nuewodu dom kumayele, Mayobi ye nuewodu dom kumayele yanwe. Then when you move to the Dangme, you hear something like Olawa lawa 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 le, Bango yuoke ho, Olawa lawa 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 le, Bango yuoke ho, Chichebi bango yuo, Mayobi bango yuo, lawa lawa, lawa bango yuo, lawa bango yuo, Olawa lawa bango yuo, lawa bango yuo. You might also hear something like Ye nakile, 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 ye bi nakile, jejo panoba wasio. Nakile, nakile, ye bi nakile, jejo panoba wasio. You might also hear one from the Krobo side, which goes, Inde jan, injewe noko, koyine via via. Indeja injewe noko koyinevia, koya gbanwe ajewe nganye koyinevia, koya gbanwe ajewe ngache. O koyinevia evia, koyinevia evia o koyinevia evia o koyinevia evia, koyinevia evia. Como So, without much ado, this is how far time permits us to bring our lesson. Feel free to comment any questions, be it something that baffles you, something you want clarity on. Feel free to share the videos to your friends too as well. Subscribe for more updates, subscribe for more content, subscribe for more lessons, divine lessons that may come your way. Feel free to click on the notification bell icon so that once new video drops, you will be the first to be alerted. I wish you well.